On behalf of TVLesson.com, I'm Dylan Schiavone, and I'm a professional guitar player here in South Florida. So let's talk a little bit about gigging. Obviously, the most important thing is that you have to know the material that you're being called upon to play. If you're like me, which I'm somewhat of a hired gun, which means an artist will call me and say, okay, I need a guitar player for such and such a day. There's 2 rehearsals or 1 rehearsal, or sometimes even no rehearsal. Here are the songs, and this is the venue. So I go home, I have to make sure that I know my stuff perfectly. Sometimes I can read it, in which case I'll make a chart which I can read, and oftentimes they don't want somebody staring at a music stand, so you have to memorize it. So the most important thing is that you show up and you really kick butt and you know that you know the material. The second thing also is that you have to have sounds appropriate for the gig, which means that you have to have good tone. So a good guitar amp, a good guitar, pedals that you're comfortable with, you know how to coax certain tones out of them. That's going to be one of your selling points as a sort of hired gun, is if I call this guy or this woman that they're going to be able to get really nice guitar tones, which surprisingly is not that easy to do. So if you're a guy or a girl that can show up and really get some juicy, or effects-driven guitar tones, or very natural guitar tones, but they sound good, people are going to want to call you back. The other thing is always be on time. This seems like, a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised on how many people that I won't call to substitute for me because I know that they're not reliable. So that is an extremely important thing, is to show up on time. There are other little things that seem small but are actually very important, like always have your own extension cord. I can't tell you what a pain it is to show up for a gig and then the outlet is 30 feet off stage, and what are you going to do? And the venue may not want to hear from you, or they may not want to lend you their cords. So it's always good to show up with all the the accoutrements and the tips of the equipment for your trade.